Saturday in the scrimmage, players had Monday off for the eclipse holiday, and knew it would be a challenge this morning, and it was. I still think there's probably a good core nucleus of guys that came out with the right mindset and got better, but too many didn't. And we can't have practices like that and get done what we want to get done, so had to send a pretty stern message afterwards, and we'll keep plugging along. But thought we've got a lot of good work done Saturday, and even today there are a lot of valuable lessons.
Mike, on your left, and Zach.
Yeah, how's in terms of the secondary, I know you said Nick Toomer kind of playing on the back end, but how do you feel it's coming along, and how confident are you guys kind of in the corners you guys got coming along right now?
Yeah. Well, I think all those guys are working hard and developing, and when spring's over, we'll evaluate that position like all positions and see if we think we have what we need to be successful in the fall.
Zach and Jared. Zach.
Just all the kind of additions to the wide receiver room. Do you feel like you're seeing, I guess, the gelling that you want to there? Guys figuring out their roles.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the gelling, them being best friends. What I'm worried about, and I'm not worried because I like that room, the cream rises to the top. Who comes out and practices every day, day in, day out, consistency. Who learns the plays, who does the right thing, who makes plays, who gives consistent effort, who doesn't know their plays, and who's inconsistent. So, if you had to line up a game today, there's a certain way we'd probably line up, but we don't have to line up a game today. So our job isn't to please them, their job's to please us.
Jared in front, and Jeff.
Still a lot of time this spring. Are there any position groups that have kind of stood out or surprised you maybe this spring?
Well, I like the depth at running back and receiver, and I think the offensive line for the most part has been fairly solid. We all know the defense has been shorthanded throughout spring, but it's given other guys an opportunity to get reps and get better.
Jack, row two on your left, and Seth.
If there's the second transfer portal window, I think in like a week, are there some positions you feel like that you might need to address with that?
Yeah, fair to say, you're seeing guys going to portal now, and I think everybody in America will look to improve their roster at the end of spring. And, with unlimited transfer opportunities right now for student athletes, there's no telling, across the country what could happen with any team.
Seth on the right, and Zach Brown.
I know we're still just a few weeks into all of this, but with the scrimmage on Saturday, did you see what you wanted to see from the quarterbacks, and what development are you seeing there over the last couple of weeks?
I think they're getting better, and I think Curtis Rourke has definitely taken a pretty significant step. He still can improve in a lot of different things. Taven's improvement's been a little slower, and while he has the physical ability most of the time to get the ball from point A to point B, there's a lot more to playing quarterback than that. So I need to see a jump in his game in that area.
Zach and Todd on your right.
You mentioned you had to send a pretty stern message today after practice. Is that something that you hope in the future you can have a potential player leader deliver that kind of message, or is that your job to you?
That's part of my job, is to have the team ready day in, day out, maintain high standards. They become us, we don't become them. Can't compromise your standards. And when something doesn't meet the bar, players need to know it.
Todd and Daniel.
Curt, from a big picture point of view, this far into spring practice, is the progress that's been made overall just generally where you wanted it to be at this stage of spring ball?
It's hard for me to say where I wanted it to be, because I never put a limit on any self-imposed limitation, but I've definitely seen progress. Players understand how we practice. The way we practice will make us better. I've seen improvement, and we just want to make the most of every opportunity, every day, every rep, every drill.
Daniel in front, then Joe.
Yeah, the idea of kind of trying to set that standard you mentioned kind of reminded me from your intro about stalking complacency. Where do you feel like you're at trying to implement that with this team?
I think today was a challenge because the players had a little time off. They had the whole day off yesterday. And I don't know what went on downtown, but I'm sure that a lot of people had a good time. And we haven't seen the players since the scrimmage. So Sunday, we showed it to them in the morning. So I think a lot of them were mature enough to come out and have the right mindset to get better, but too many of them that people that follow Indiana think are players, okay, came out like the old Indiana. And that's what we need to eliminate, is that kind of habit, choice, decision, mindset.
Joe, went back to Mike.
Coach, you mentioned Curtis's development over the past few weeks. What specifically have you noticed from his growth?
Well, he's learning a lot of new plays, a lot of new terminology. You know, he's finding the open guy, getting him the ball, but there's still improvement that could be made.
Well, with Caleb Black, you mentioned him bringing juice, but what do you like about his skill set specifically, and how does he kind of differ maybe from Justice Ellison, who is up there as well?
Well, I think those first three guys, Kalon, Ellison, and Lawton, are all very similar. You know, they got juice, and, you know, they're good at pass pro, and they can catch the ball out of the backfield, they can make people miss, and they're good players. And, you know, so's Green, you know, he's been coming on from UNC. So those three guys are all similar in a lot of different respects.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.